Hey guys, what's up? My name is Sky Webb and I'm here to talk about a true crime story that I cannot get off my mind. But before I get started, I just want to put out a little disclaimer that I mean no harm to any of the victims or the victims' families, and I wish everyone who was hurt within this story the utmost peace and solace, either in rest or in recovery. With that out of the way, happy True Crime Thursday. How is everybody doing? I hope you're all having a wonderful Thursday, and if you're not, I at least hope it wasn't as bad as this girl's Monday was. Today we're going to have a look at Brenda Spencer and the Cleveland Elementary School shooting. Brenda Spencer was born on the 3rd of April 1962 and she lived in San Diego, California. She lived across the road from Grover Elementary School and she lived with her alcoholic dad in a pretty run-down house. It was pretty small, they didn't have a lot of money, and they even shared a mattress, not a bed, just a mattress on the floor of the living room, and that's all they really had. At the time of the shooting, Brenda was only 16 years old. She was a pretty small kid, maybe 5'2", and she had crazy bright orange hair. As I said, her dad was a pretty bad alcoholic and he would spend pretty much all their money on booze. That's kind of why they were in the situation that they were in, and so the entire house was just littered with beer bottles and alcohol bottles and cans, and it was just a mess. So it was a really toxic environment for Brenda to be living in to begin with, but then on top of that, her dad was a fucking dick. He was really aggressive, he was really verbally abusive, he would say a lot of nasty shit like most alcoholics do, unfortunately. And because of this, Brenda and him, they didn't really get on well. And Brenda's mum wasn't much help either because she had left both of them and didn't want to be a part of Brenda's life, which is horrible. But Brenda's mum was more than happy to go and remarry and then start a new family with new kids. She just didn't want to be a part of Brenda's life as a mother, but she was happy to be a mother to others. So that was pretty shitty. Obviously, living in a really toxic, shitty environment like this, your chances of getting a rebellious, naughty kid is pretty high. And that's definitely what you got with Brenda. She was super rebellious, didn't really want to do what anyone told her to do. She wanted to do what she wanted to do. She liked to ditch class, she liked to smoke weed, she liked to smoke cigarettes, and she was just really a rebel. She had a full-on attitude as well, so that always goes down well as a teenager. She talked a lot of shit for a 16-year-old. She expressed a lot of hostility towards authority and policemen, and she even said that one day she'll shoot a police officer, just cause. She'd previously been arrested for shooting out windows as she was trying to shoot birds. Apparently that was a hobby of hers, to shoot birds from her window, and she'd accidentally shot in a word? I don't think so. She accidentally shot out windows and got arrested for it. And another time she got arrested for breaking and entering, although I don't know what the story was there. As you can imagine, after ditching so many classes, she wasn't really invested in school. She didn't really give a fuck about, obviously, her attendance or her classes. She didn't care about her grades, and she just, wasn't really that passionate about it. But one thing she was really passionate about was photography, and she was actually recognized and awarded due to her photography work. The school actually did recognize her talent and her passion in that area. So she wasn't completely without a care in the world. She did care about some things. She wasn't completely shut off to the world either. There was one faculty member that Brenda did sort of open up to and expressed some of her feelings with. She expressed that she was really depressed and she didn't really see a point in living, and she really opened up to this faculty member that she hadn't really opened up to anyone else before. But because of that person's duty of care over a student, over Brenda, she had to relay that information back to Brenda's dad. And as you can imagine, Brenda's dad didn't really take that very well, and he wasn't exactly the coddling kind. So he got really angry and said, "She's not depressed, depression isn't real," and basically threw it back in the staff member's face and was like, "It's your fault, do your job. You're talking shit to my child." very ignorant sort of shit. Can't imagine this would have made Brenda feel any better about her situation or about herself. And as it turns out, Brenda did attempt to kill herself on a number of different occasions, where she would take like medications, or she would drink a lot of her father's alcohol and basically just go to sleep and like try and commit suicide. But then the next morning she would still wake up. So it was obviously unsuccessful, and because of this, it made her feel like shit. Like, obviously she's waking up feeling really, really sick. For one, she's either got a hangover or she's like vomiting up pills or just fucking like out of it. And then on top of that, she's fucking depressed because she was already fucking depressed. And then on top of that, she's angry at herself and hating herself because she feels like out of all the things that she can't do, she should be able to kill herself, but she can't even do that. So she feels worthless and like 1,000 times worse than she did before she fell asleep. So as I said before, she had been arrested for the window thing and for the breaking and entering. So this meant that she had a probation officer. And this probation officer actually recommended that she go and have a psych evaluation. And after that was done, it was actually recommended that she go and spend time in a mental facility, in a mental hospital, where they can try and treat her and try and help her, because she wasn't in the right mind. Like, she just wasn't. But unfortunately, because she was so young, her dad had to sign off on this, and because he didn't believe in depression and because he was a very like ignorant, arrogant man, he wouldn't sign off on it. He said no fucking way, which is just a super big shame. Like, it's such a shame that he did this to her because she obviously needed help. She obviously wasn't right, and it sucks that he's the one that stopped her from potentially getting the help that she needed. Now, Christmas Day 1978, imagine waking up and crawling off of the shared mattress that you share with your alcoholic father who's passed out snoring, and you crawl over to your non-existent tree, Christmas tree, that you like to imagine is there, and you find your one present wrapped up in the corner of the room, and you start to unwrap your present, and you're desperately hoping to see a radio sticking out from the paper, because that's all you've been wanting, that's all you've been asking. You've asked your dad multiple fucking times, you just want a radio. You're really hoping that there's a radio in this present. And then as you're unwrapping, you start to see a rifle sticking out of the holly jolly Christmas paper, and you think, what the fuck is this? Yeah, he got her a gun for Christmas. A gun with a scope for Christmas instead of a radio that she wanted, that she asked for, a radio. Also, he got her 500 rounds of ammunition, so he really wanted her to use this thing. What? Excuse me, sorry, what? She's 16, sir. When she was interviewed, like way after this, she did say to reporters that the reason she thinks that her dad got her a rifle for Christmas with ammunition is because he wanted her to kill herself, which like none of us know how true that is, but the fact that at 16 she thought she was getting a present from her dad to kill herself is like horrible. So on the 29th of January 1979, Monday morning, Brenda stays home from school because she doesn't feel well and she doesn't want to go. And she grabs her rifle and she rests the rifle outside the window and she aims across the road at the school. She then eyes the line of primary school children waiting outside the gates for the principal to let them into the school. And then she opens fire. She starts shooting at these primary school children. She was shooting at any moving target that she could find. She was shooting at the principal, who was like desperately trying to usher kids away from the damage. She started shooting at a security guard who was yanking kids out of the way, and she killed both of them. She killed the security guard, who literally saved a child's life as he got shot, as well as killing the principal, who was desperately trying to save as many kids as he possibly fucking could. Then when a police officer got called to the scene and arrived, she shot him as well and injured him really badly in the neck. The only way that they were actually able to stop her from killing more people was by pulling up a huge garbage truck between her house and the primary school, so that like she didn't have a clear target anymore. But that didn't stop her from shooting. She still shot the fucking truck. She still managed to injure 8 students who primary school age, elementary school age, like young kids. She injured 8 of them and then killed 2 adults and a police officer. After she finished shooting, she barricaded herself within her own house for over 6 hours. And something that I find really interesting is that a reporter from the San Diego Union Tribune started calling all random numbers in that area, just hoping and praying that they would find her number. Like that's just, I think that's mad. Like that's such good dedication. It's such a good idea to just start calling numbers. And I find it like so bizarre that she even picked up the phone or even stayed talking on the phone. Like that's so weird to just shoot people and then like pick up your phone like, hello, what's up? Like, okay. But anyway, she spoke to the reporter and they asked, why did you do this? And Brenda said her most infamous fucking line that's been in movies and TV shows and music and whatever else. She said, I don't like Mondays. Eventually, negotiators were able to coax her out of her house and to come and be arrested, and allegedly they did this by promising her a Burger King meal. I guess she was hungry, there probably wasn't any food in the house. So she was arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder and assault with a deadly weapon. She was tried as an adult and pleaded guilty to both charges. On the 4th of April 1980, only one day before her 18th birthday, she was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. She's actually eligible for parole next September 2021, but I wouldn't worry about that because every parole that she's ever gone up for was denied, so I don't think she'll be granted at this time, but we'll see. And that's the story of Brenda Spencer, the girl who infamously hated Mondays. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this one. Please let me know what you think about this story in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you have to say. What do you think about Brenda's upbringing? Do you think her dad played a part in her depression, for one, and also her decision to shoot children, for 2? What do you think about the gun he gave her? Do you think that he's somehow partially responsible for what happened because he gave a fucking minor a gun and ammunition? What do you think about that? And also, what do you think about her infamous quote, I don't like Mondays? Let me know what you think in the comments down below, or you can head over to my Facebook, which is skyweb with 3 B's, and let me know there. I would love to hear your opinions. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you feel like it. I would really appreciate it, and be sure to subscribe so that you can see all my new videos. I post every single Thursday all about true crime, and I would love to have you be a part of it. Make sure you guys are being safe out there. Never go to school on a Monday morning because you will get shot and killed. Don't trust girls with red hair, and most importantly, don't ask your dad for a radio for Christmas because you'll get a gun. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe. Bye!